I do not
fine.
have a model.
Well,
other than saying level is horizontal.
I do, and my model says level is not horizontal.
Brilliant. I say I can prove that level is horizontal.
And I say I can prove it is not.
Brilliant.
Let's review.
Yep.
Fight the Flat Earth. We'll debate. Bev, try thinking.
Do you think?
I'll say he won't.
Okay.
No, I'd say he won't.
I bet you he does. I bet you $1 million. Well, I don't have $1 million, but I bet you would.
Don't do that.
But you don't want to go on his channel.
Oh no. No, he's already admits he doesn't do proper debates, and if it was on his channel, you know what would happen. You know what he's like.
I do. He talks over people, no doubt about it. But he's right.
He's right.
Yeah.
What, to talk over people and not let them get their point across, and to berate people? And...
That's not right.
So he's
but
not
I
right.
think he knows physics. And
what have you heard about that thing with Steve McRae and Cheshire Vicky? I mean, they're not too keen, and they don't.
We're talking about.
They think he's lying about his physics stuff, don't they? Have you not heard about that?
I knew there was a problem with fundraisers and stuff, but
I think the thing is we're finding out more and more about him. He wasn't exactly honest to begin with us. He's not as educated as he says he was. I mean, there's been a couple of videos about him. Have you seen them?
No. They would teach him Fight the Flat Earth because they said he'd lied to them about his qualifications within his physics. Yeah. I'd look into it because he, maybe a little bit dodgy. He said that one of his proofs of a globe is that he calculated how much diesel the submarine used.
Right.
To get it from like Scotland to South Africa or something like that, I think. Do you know how many diesel submarines we have?
Well, wasn't he on a nuclear submarine?
Bam.
Bingo.
Yeah. So how would you imagine that one of his globe proofs was him being able to calculate how much diesel the engines used to get?
There's the one about his children being able to, what is it? Find out wherever they are.
Calculate their position.
Just using a pendulum. Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
He's not. I bet he's
You're
not
talking about Foucault's pendulum.
No, just a pendulum.
He says he's taught his kids, who are pretty young, to be able to position themselves anywhere on the earth with only a pendulum.
The latitude is what he's talking about.
No. I'll see if I can find a tweet for you. I had to confirm it with him as well, because like I say, it does sound fantastic, doesn't it? And you have to go like, are you sure? Well,
sure. I mean, I feel really comfortable.
You feel really what?
There you go. Why my kids
I
can
feel really
calculate
uncomfortable.
their position on the earth exactly using nothing but a swinging pendulum. I don't know why he had the jail thing. Nobody said anything about that. It's him over exaggerating. He wasn't replying to me, although I was in that thread. So that's pretty good, right? So that's definitely a good claim, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish I knew what he was talking about.
And
if you have a
we call it Fight the Flat Earth, GPPS.
I can explain it in 2 words.
We call it the ground pendulum positioning system. It's going to be taken over.
What 2 words would you use, Rakia?
BS.
Oh, and I tell you what, I've been listening to recently that one with Kosho. You know, where we went over to Brandon's and we were doing the Alberuni. That's fucking great. You know, we're going to have to go over that again. Have you ever heard of that? The Alberuni method? Because that is pure geometry. That is right up our street, that. And,
no.
You've never heard of Alberuni? Because he's got, the perfect maths. This is Fight the Flat Earth again. Because you think he's good at this sort of stuff, don't you? So the perfect maths is H equals R brackets 1 minus cos A close brackets. That's it. It's not hard, he says. That's the perfect maths. And so I ask him, what's H? And he says, observer height. So the perfect maths works out H, which is the observer height. So if you want to know where you are for observing, all you've got to do is this perfect maths and you can find out the height that you're at. It's perfect. But I mean, it is a basis of Alberuni. He's derived it from Alberuni. We will go over it because we need to go over Alberuni.
Confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance, show you confident or not. Don't get caught in a matrix of all of these fakers. Society's spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. definitions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far, shrinking in the distance. You can do fuck all with an angle, and the fools are running away.
Right? I must have said 100 times that I'm not a flat earther. But they still say that I am a flat earther. And once they point the finger at you, they can do whatever you want.
You know, flat Earth is just a badge that they pin on people to ridicule them with, don't you?
The questions that these people can't answer just get labelled flat earthers. If you ask a question that they can't answer, they'll call you a flat earther, and they don't have to answer that question.
Do you have an example?
Level is horizontal.
Yeah.
Provably.
But you sound like a flat earther when you say that.
That's what you see. You say that as well, don't you? Like you've just done exactly the same as what Fight the Flat Earth does.
And the trouble is, we know he claims to teach us to his children as well. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's what bugs the crap out of me.
What, that teaching that level is horizontal is something
Yeah,
wrong
because
with
that's
that,
wrong.
Craig?
Yeah, because that is
Well, no,
actually a lie.
Wrong.
locally, it's locally correct. It's locally correct. Although
Yeah.
the
Right,
level
only
has
locally.
several meanings.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
the
So
level has
it-
several meanings.
Is
The
it
local
child
level
abuse
changes.
or isn't it child abuse then? What we
Well-
going with?
I'm saying, personally, I believe the things that you teach your child, your autistic child, is
How do
psychological
you-
child abuse.
Like that water is level.
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal plane, which is not true.
Yes.
And
course
the
it is.
implication of that is that you are teaching your child the earth is flat.
No.
Yes. If
Well,
your child
he
asks you...
knows there are mountains and valleys. He's been up
Yeah,
them,
so do
taking
all flat.
pictures.
So do all other flat earthers. But you are implicating to your child that the Earth is not a sphere, that the Earth is not as we know it. You are teaching your child to mistrust
You know
authority,
it.
and yeah, I absolutely
know
do know
it.
it. I 100% know it. Yes, I have done personal calculations in the military, well, for fuel consumption
calculations.
that only work when we are on a sphere.
Oh, right. Which ones were they?
Many, many.
Which ones though? Go on.
I had to
The
calculate
only
how
way-
I had to
way
calculate
that-
how much fuel the diesel engines would use when going from South Africa all the way up to the.
That's just the
top of
distance,
Canada.
right? That's,
but
what's that got to do with a sphere?
Because the maps that we used were based on a sphere.
Maps were flat, weren't they?
No, they were based on a sphere.
They were curved maps.
The maps are all representations of curves. Yes.
Maths cannot lie like that. Triangles are triangles.
So-
You've got
so, yeah,
triangles
sure.
are going to add up to 180 degrees. It's as simple as that.
They are flat maps, though,
Just
right?
because they're on a flat piece of
Yeah.
paper doesn't mean to say they're assuming the surface is not curved, you twat.
Flat,
You're not
they
an
mean
expert.
level, which means curved.
Exactly, because I think flat Earth is a joke.
Flat
Yeah.
is curved.
Do you think level being horizontal is flat Earth?
Flat,
You're not
they
an
mean
expert.
level, which means curved.
Because just
No.
open a dictionary.
Flat is curved.
Uh-huh.
Flat,
You're not
they
an
mean
expert.
level, which means curved.
It'll tell you that level is horizontal. Now, do you think that's because you're cleverer than they are, the people that wrote the dictionary and everything, or what reason? What reason do you term that as flat Earth, or is every dictionary a flat Earth one? They trying to convince you that the Earth's flat?
Flat,
You're not
they
an
mean
expert.
level, which means curved. Remember, the Earth is incredibly flat.
I don't think that anyone is trying to convince me that the Earth is flat. I think it's stupid. I've heard guys say that level means curved, and I'm not sure what they're going with that. But you sound like you're a flat earther. You're arguing there. Go ahead.
Level is horizontal, and I can prove it. Yeah. And you think that's flat Earth, do you? I mean, a lot of people do. It is one of those things that people point fingers at me and say, you're a flat earther. But I say, I can see there's mountains, valleys. It goes up and down. Now, elevation is a measured change in the vertical. First order measurements. All distances are measured horizontal, and all elevations are a vertical change. That's horizontal and vertical. Level is horizontal, and plumb bobs do vertical. Both straight lines.
I'm confused. You still sound like you're making a claim for flat Earth.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Do you think a water level drops away?
Yes.
Do you know how water flows?
Because of gravity, water finds its own level.
Yeah, that level is an equal altitude, right? It's an even pressure, zero pressure state of even altitude.
We're not talking. We're not talking about pressure here.
Okay.
We're talking.
Yeah, we are. This is pressure. There's a science element to it, and there's a geometrical element to it. Now, I say level is horizontal, and I can prove it. You say that's flat Earth.
I don't say it's flat Earth. I think it's. I say it's globe Earth.
I do not have a model other than saying level is horizontal.
I do, and my model says level is not horizontal.
Brilliant. I say I can prove that level is horizontal.
And I say I can prove it is not.
Brilliant.
Level is horizontal.
Well, why do you say that I sounded like a flat earther then? Because apparently, if I can prove that level is horizontal, and that's the globe Earth, then I can prove the globe Earth for you. Like, why did you say that that sounds like a flat earther?
Because level is equal to the downward vector of gravity.
It's
and if
perpendicular, right?
Yes.
Well, perpendicular is two straight lines. I can get you the geometrical definition for it if you want.
At one location, sure. The level, like a spirit level, where you got the little bubble.
Every location. Well, it depends what sort of level you want to talk about.
Are you telling me you're not a flat earther?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep telling you it.
Then why are you arguing with me?
I'm not arguing with you.
Arguing, just having a discussion.
We're just agreeing with each other, aren't we? You said that level is horizontal.
We're agreeing at all.
You said that's the globe. Well, I can prove it. So I can prove your globe for you by proving that level is horizontal.
Please do, because I'm always looking for more proof of the globe.
Okay. Do you want a quick logical?
I think you're just fucking with me.
Do you want a logical proof?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're gonna We'll just have a quick. We've got a canal, let's say, 1 mile.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from A to B. Right? So A at one end.
Yes.
B at the other end. Now, that line between those 2 points, because there's 2 points, one at the beginning and one at the end, is that a straight line to you?
Yes.
Okay. So they're at even altitude, or even, we call it an even elevation because it's a canal, right? The surface is on the it's on the ground, right? So we'll call it an even elevation on the surface of that canal. It's all the same elevation, right?
It depends what elevation you're talking about.
The water in this stretch of canal that we're theorizing.
Are you in the water?
No, the water is the water. The surface of the water is the subject that we're talking about, right? So we put an A at one end and a B at the other end, so you've got a mile. Now, it's an even elevation, straight line all the way across. Now, we're going to stand at point A at one end of this canal. And we're going to look out. Now, is B higher, lower, or at the same level?
Lower.
It's lower. Okay. Any idea of a number?
It depends on the elevation height.
Ooh.
And
curvature rate of the water is elevation dependent. I like that. That's pretty exact. That. Let's say just sea level. Mean sea level.
Okay. So it depends on the distance.
1 mile.
Of the point B.
Yeah, 1 mile.
1 mile.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, God, I hate to break this out, but I think basically 8 inches.
Okay, that's good. Like, that's good.
Per mile squared.
Yeah. So, that would be. Would you say that would be measurable? And if we were to measure it, would we be okay extending a horizontal out from point A, and then by the time we get to point B, the 8 inches would be a measurable drop from that horizontal that we set at point A?
Well, a mile is a long way.
Yeah.
And there's atmospheric stuff that comes into play.
No, not with surveying, and the atmospheric stuff won't matter with the water level, will it? Or are you just talking about for measurable purposes? Because remember, this is only theoretical at the minute. Well, so I don't know how much you know about it, but surveying, surveyors are pretty accurate. Like within
I know
1
nothing
millimeter.
about surveying.
You don't?
1 millimeter, really?
Pardon? Yeah, 1 millimeter over a 1 kilometer double run. You could probably get closer than that. I mean, like, you could probably get it exact if you were to do it enough times. But yeah. For establishing a horizontal, that is. Differential leveling.
I wish I knew more.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, you were a bit, you didn't know whether you could do that, but I mean, a horizontal to be set from point A all the way to point B, it is definitely doable by surveyors. I'm just trying to establish.
Are you talking about left to right?
From A to B. You said there was a drop. We was trying to establish how we would measure that said drop. Well, if we would we measure it from a set established horizontal, and then measure the drop away of the water from that horizontal. Is that how you would imagine?
I think geometrically there should be a drop.
Okay. Now let's go to and stand at point B and look back at point A.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now remembering that you've just dropped 8 inches if you went to point B, but now we're at point B and we're looking towards point A, the water on the canal. What does that do?
From sea level.
From the canal level, just from point B in relation to point A.
It depends on the observer's height, and it depends on the observed height.
Well, you had a drop, right? From A to B, the water level dropped in the canal. So that's an established drop over that distance, 1 mile. Now, all we've done is we've gone to go and stand at the other end of this 1 mile canal. And we are doing exactly the same, but opposite, right? As you would do in logical preparations and mathematics, you would check from the other end. So what would the relationship of A be to the point B when you are stood at B?
I think if you were in the water with your eyeballs just above the surface of the water, you would be missing 8 inches
again
of what you were looking at.
So that's another drop.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a drop.
Are you really
at both ends? Well, now let's say I'm stood at point A and you're stood at point B. Now, what happens to the water now? Are you lower than me and am I lower than you in relation to each other? Or are we both the same?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a great question. I have to think about that for a while. I think if you were at point A and point B, I don't know.
Well, see, that's tricky. See, where I would say the water level is horizontal, I would just say from A to B it's horizontal. From B to A it's horizontal. So I don't have to think about anything like that, because to me it's pretty simple. It's horizontal. Level is horizontal.
But you said, are we on the same level?
Yeah. See, I've got them there. We've got. See that picture in the live chat.
This is really hard to see.
Yeah.
I'm on my laptop. Are you really going to tell me that you're not a flat earther?
Absolutely.
Is that the story you're sticking to?
Absolutely.
Then why are you arguing with me?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing. This is just a logical thing. It's for you. It seems like a brain teaser.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So you went for the double drop. Now a lot of people go for the hump. Jesse Kozlowski does both.
I don't know who he is.
You don't know who Jesse Kozlowski is? Wow.
Nope.
He's one of your best sources for the globe, you know. Surveyors. I mean, you don't know much about surveying. Well, yeah. I deal more in the surveying side of it, so I guess that's why I know about Jesse Kozlowski. Have you ever heard of Soundly?
Yeah, I've heard his name, but I don't follow him or know what he says.
Lake Pontchartrain?
Lake Pontchartrain, yeah. They say that that bridge was the way across is the same distance above the water, yet it appears to curve.
24 miles. 27. 23.7 miles or something like that, I think. and they Jesse Kozlowski gave all of the stuff that he did when he drove over the bridge with his little GPS tracker. And he gave all of that to Walter Bislin, and Walter Bislin made the hump model, famous hump model.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there's a 28.5 meter hump in the middle of that bridge, because that's what the water's meant to do. Now, I don't think that's right, because like I say, I think the water level is horizontal. I think level is horizontal. But you said there's a drop, but I mean that's a hump. It doesn't drop at all.
How do you explain? How do you explain sailboats disappearing from bottom up?
Sorry?
How do you explain a sunset when we see half the sun? See the top half of the sun.
You're talking about optics now.
Yeah.
And we're just going with geometry.
Talking about a limited angle, obviously. You're not suggesting that you think that the water drops away, are you? Because, like I say,
I'm saying that. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that you know how water flows, because we do. It goes
because of gravity.
It goes down, doesn't it?
It goes down in elevation.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said. You said the water drops away from you. That's down.
That's not elevation. That's towards the center of the earth.
You don't know much about surveying, but that is what measured change in elevation is, a measured change in the vertical from a tool established called a level. So the measured change, the drop or raise from that horizontal set by a tool called a level, is a change in altitude or elevation.
That tool that you call a level only works because of gravity. Do you want to deny gravity? And make yourself sound more like a flat earther?
It's vertical, right? A plumb bob is the tool.
What's vertical?
A plumb bob.
Yep.
Have you seen a plumb bob?
Yes.
Right. Now, would you call that vertical? Because that's all I know,
Yes.
right? That's the only way I can represent things in reality, right? Now, that's vertical.
Yes.
Yeah? Well, I agree. That tool that we use to establish a vertical frame of reference, one of the right lines that we use, is vertical. Now, perpendicular to that, vertical is horizontal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
But surveyors say that a plumb line, when you make a triangle, is more than 180 degrees.
No,
and
they
that
don't.
shouldn't happen.
They don't. Nobody says.
They don't?
Yeah, nobody says triangles have more than 180 degrees. Only severely deluded people. There's a mathematical proof that proves triangles only have 180 degrees. It's axiomated. It's that set, that thing. It's axiomated within the foundations of geometry. I bet you've never seen a triangle with more than 180 degrees, have you?
No, because I don't know anything about surveyors.
Yeah, well, surveyors can't do the impossible within mathematics.
Okay.
You don't think a surveyor's a special sort of person that can make a triangle with more than 180 degrees? Because that's impossible, right? It's like having a circle with more than 360 degrees. It's fucking ridiculous.
Not on a curve, it's not.
What?
If the Earth's surface is curved, like you say you believe, but you really don't, you're just pulling my chain.
There's mountains and I can see curves. You can see them. They're all over the place.
Then what are we arguing about?
I've got hills just up the road.
Yeah.
They're curved.
Well,
nice.
We can measure the elevation of those hills by using a tool called a level. That is the tool we use to establish elevation changes.
I just don't understand the dishonesty. You were obviously a flat earther.
For what reason?
What are we arguing about?
We're not arguing. We're not arguing. I think we're agreeing, aren't we?
We're not agreeing.
I'm telling you that there's a contradiction. You said there's a drop, whereas Jesse Kozlowski, the guy that's the surveyor, gave all of his details to Walter Bislin. Walter Bislin made a model of that and put a big hump in the middle of it. He had the water raising up in between the 2 points. But you didn't do that. I think his model is just as ridiculous as yours.
What's my model?
You're the drop. You had it dropping from both ends.
It does.
But Walter Bislin modelled a hump.
Okay, I don't know who Walter... Is that
Walter Bislin is.
A Jim Hendry's joke? Some guy in an insane asylum?
Oh, no.
You know who Jim Hendry's is?
No.
Well, I don't know who this guy you're talking about is. Send me a link to his stuff and I'll look at it and laugh.
This one here. Maybe you've seen that one.
I think.
See that's the model that he did. You can even see the points he plotted that didn't seem to match it either. Curve adjusted, obviously. But there's a few interesting facts about when you go and talk about water pressure. Hydrostatic equilibrium, zero state of water pressure. It finds a zero state of water pressure, and sort of part of the reason we say it's horizontal is that's a fact, right? It's scientific. Water can't hump or drop because of that zero pressure state. The way that hydrostatic equilibrium works and the vertical distance underneath the water, establishes equal and even pressure. If there isn't an equal and even pressure, the water will, as we say, flow until it does find its equal and even pressure state.
And last time I remember, water doesn't support its own weight. So...
What does that mean?
Well,
have you ever seen a water drop?
A water drop? What's that got to do?
Like downwards, like you said, like 8 inches. That sort of a water drop. the drop of 8 inches, like you said before.
It's the vector of gravity. Do you not believe in gravity?
And a downwards, like a vertical. Like I say, that's how you tell the pressure of the water, right? As a vertical distance from that zero pressure state. Have you ever heard of the head of water pressure?
No.
You've never heard of a head of water?
Head of water pressure?
Yeah.
No.
You live in America?
Yes.
Have you seen water towers?
Yes.
Right. Well, they are there to give you a head of water pressure, to pressurize the entire water system for the area, and that's measured as a vertical distance. That vertical height that is above establishes the pressure that you need within the system.
Yes.
Well, that vertical height is established reference to what do you think it's reference to?
What I think it's reference to?
Yeah.
I see water towers on buildings, and there's more pressure at the bottom than there is at the top.
Yeah, because of the vertical change, right? That's a vertical. Now, how far can the water level or the water pressure system be away from that head of pressure from the tank?
Say that again?
How far away do you think the water, that one tank, will pressurize the system for?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, it's for the entire system, and it's measured as a vertical height above all of the water. It all will have an even pressure at an even vertical distance from the top of that tower.
Even pressure?
Yeah.
I just said that the water in the bottom of that water tower is much greater than at the top.
Yeah, but like 10 feet from the top of that water tower, right, will be the same as 10 feet a mile, 2 miles away. There won't be any difference. 10 feet will have the same pressure state. If it is a
what do you mean a mile?
Elevation or altitude, even vertical distance away from that.
You think elevation has something to do with the water pressure in the bottom of the tank?
I think that's a slight little obfuscation, right? Well, maybe we best go away from that. Let's just say.
Let's look.
Do you know what a water level is? Not a canal. The actual tool, a water level. Have you ever heard of one?
Yeah. Sure, with a little bubble inside.
No, that's a spirit level. A water level.
Okay, well then I don't know.
A water level is very, very, very technical. I don't know whether you could even imagine how high-tech this stuff is.
Yeah, you're right. Flat Earth makes no sense to me. I can't imagine it.
Well, this isn't, like I say, this isn't flat Earth. This is in reality.
Dude, just admit you're a flat earther and you're having fun with me. That's cool.
Why would I do that? Like I say, I've told you, I am not a flat earther. Do you think that level being horizontal is flat Earth? I have to say this to a lot of people. You wouldn't be the first person to say that. Yeah, you think it is.
I think level is not the same as flat.
Well, it isn't, because
but
flat is flat.
I don't want.
Flat is a two-dimensional surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not what level is. Level exists in reality, and it's three-dimensional.
Ooh, hey, can I go through 3 points just real quick?
Yeah, go on, I'm making a break.
All right. See if you agree with these. Number one.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, hey, how's it going on, Buster?
Hey, Buster.
Yeah. Would you care if I read these 3 points and see if you agree with them?
No. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So number one, and now you're thinking about communicating vessels. So like, let's just make it real easy. You had a garden hose. You had filled it with water, and both ends are open, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So number one, pressure is proportional to the depth and density of the fluid. The shape of the container or object has no effect on pressure. Would you agree with that?
Okay.
All right. So the second one is connected liquid in hydrostatic equilibrium rises to the same height in all open regions of the container. Would you agree with that?
I have no idea what you just said.
The connected liquid, the water that's in the tube, connected liquid.
You just said it was an empty tube.
They're open on both ends. And you're holding them up and it's full of water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Connected liquid in hydrostatic equilibrium rises to the same height in all open regions of the container, i.e. both ends. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I guess I'm okay with that.
All right, number three, the pressure is the pressure is the same at all points on a horizontal line through the connected liquid in hydrostatic equilibrium.
Again, a horizontal line, equilibrium.
Yep.
Focus on the pressure, though. That's what the question is based on.
I just want to know, when are you going to say welcome to Flat Earth?
We don't.
No. Sorry.
Fucking stupid,
You're
mate.
Flat Earthers.
No, we're not.
Stupid, mate.
So I go through 3 points, and you agreed with them. I mean, I would agree with them too. I mean, it's physics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I mean, if you agree with them, then brilliant. We're great.
So what did we just prove?
That a water level creates a horizontal line through connected liquid and hydrostatic equilibrium.
Okay.
It's a basis of a level. It's what they used before they made spirit levels and auto levels, theodolites and laser levels.
You didn't answer the question. Do you believe in gravity?
Vertical. I can see a plumb bob. We did establish that earlier. Vertical is what we call it. It goes in both two directions, doesn't it? Up and down. Vertical.
Gravity goes in two directions? Why are you so afraid to admit that?
Vertical.
If you're not a flat earther.
A vertical goes in two directions. The same way as horizontal goes in both directions. It goes in all directions. Actually.
Gravity is a downward.
It's a plane.
Gravity is a downward force.
Vertical, like I say, it goes
sideways.
in both directions, up and down. Establishes a lower pressure state, upwards, and a higher pressure state, downwards.
Upwards is buoyancy. Mm-hmm.
just less pressure, if that's what you want to call pressure, right? Do you have a...
What do I want to call pressure?
Yeah, do you have a, like a quick definition of pressure?
Pressure is gases that bounce off the container in each other.
So you need a container then? For him to bounce?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you said...
The container is gravity.
Yeah, bouncing. There is a video, quite a funny one.
I don't think pressure's restricted to gases either.
Yeah, it isn't. But,
are you guys really gonna? How long are you going to continue to say you're not flat earthers? This is a laugh hole to me.
Forever.
You're not a flat earther. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about a sunset.
The sun goes away until you can't see it.
It goes away.
Then it gets dark.
Where's it go?
Stars come out.
It gets farther away.
Yeah.
Are you telling me it doesn't disappear over the curve?
There's no curve. The water level is a horizontal. We keep telling you that.
And you were a flat earther.
I'm not a flat earther.
Why are you so keen to pigeonhole somebody and call them a name?
Yeah.
It's that badge I was talking about earlier. He's just desperate to pin that badge. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Because most people that do that, they'll always do that. You people. You people.
Did I say you people?
No, not you, but it happens.
But you are trying to pin that badge.
Yeah, we have agreed on quite a few things. But the only thing we don't seem to agree on is that you think the water drops away from wherever you are. No, I don't have that belief. I don't presume that I can control what water does with my position.
Then you don't believe in the globe.
Well, if controlling water with your position is one of the globe beliefs, well, that sounds like a superhero thing, that, to me. And I don't think I'm that good. The water isn't affected by my position at all.
It's affected by gravity.
So you say. But at
So
every
you don't believe in gravity.
point, the plumb bob, if, like, imagine we got a canal surface and we hang a plumb bob over the top of that canal, will it be perpendicular to the surface of the water underneath it?
Yes.
Well, that's two straight lines, right?
Would it be perpendicular?
You're not going to presume that you're going to bend that horizontal, are you?
Would it be perpendicular to the water level a mile away? No.
It would, because if you were holding a plumb bob a mile away, it would be perpendicular to the water. In fact, if you were to hold a plumb bob all the way along and you walked along that water, at every point you were at, it would be perpendicular, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Well, that's two straight lines.
But if you walked over a ball in a curve, it would always point straight down. But if you compared those angles, you would notice a little something was off.
That's not perpendicular then, right? It's not
right.
It's not at right angles. If it's not at right angles, geometrically. So when you say perpendicular, is that what you mean? Or do you mean horizontal isn't perpendicular to vertical?
That's not what I mean.
That's not what you mean.
No, I mean if you went a mile or 2 or 3 or 10, and you measured that angle, the plumb bob, compared to point A, like you said, and point B, there would be different.
What, the verticals would be different?
Yes.
Would that mean that if you were to set, let's say, let's go back to the canal, let's say, and we set a vertical and a horizontal at A and B, right? Where would the horizontal go?
What do you mean?
Of each of those points, A and B. Theoretically, again, we're establishing a plumb bob at A and making a perpendicular to that and extending it because it's a straight line. Yeah?
I would say they'd be more than 90 degrees.
Okay, now where would the two horizontals, one from A and one from B, where would they meet?
What do you mean, where would they meet?
Well, there's two horizontals. Yeah, if you made two verticals, one at A and one at B, and corresponding to those verticals, we have a horizontal perpendicular to it. And we're going to extend those horizontals out. Where do they meet?
What do you mean? Where do they meet? They meet from point A to point B.
They meet in the middle on a straight line.
It's not a straight line.
Pardon?
It's not a straight line.
What, horizontal isn't a straight line?
But it's not horizontal.
The perpendicular to vertical that you've made at each of the verticals. When you made the perpendicular.
It's not a straight line. If you took a picture of
perpendicular of vertical is definitely a straight line. It's a perpendicular. Do you want me to get you the definition of it?
If you took a picture of the horizon at the ocean and compressed it, you would see curve. It's not a straight line.
Wow,
it
that
looks like a
sounds
straight
like
line.
a cog disc sort of response there.
Okay, I don't play fallacies here.
It sounds like barrel distortion in the camera lens to me.
Yeah.
What camera?
You said take a picture.
Yeah.
I should. I wish I lived next to the ocean. I don't.
Yeah, but you said take a picture and compress it from side to side. You do know that you get barrel distortion within a camera lens, don't you? All lenses give you distortion.
A little bit.
And you compress that picture and you make that little bit that much worse.
Then you put a level. You guys like levels. You put a straight edge in that picture, and that doesn't change, but the horizon changes.
Well, you know, it says horizontal in the dictionary is a definition, mathematical definition of horizontal is parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what parallel means?
Yes.
Parallel straight lines, right? There's no such thing as a parallel curved line. And horizontal is parallel to the plane of the horizon. That would make the horizon a plane. Straight lines. No curve. Like DP said, if
No
you're
curve.
taking a picture, if you're taking a picture and you've got curvature, then is mathematics wrong? When it says that horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon?
Who says horizontals are plane to the horizon?
Mathematics.
Ash says that?
Yeah. Do you want to go and find a horizontal definition anywhere you can?
Yeah, I'm not here to talk about the definition of horizontal.
You're not going to talk about the definition of horizontal. Is that because you want it to bend, or because?
Because you can watch it bend.
You can watch horizontals bend.
Yeah, when you compress the
Are
picture.
horizontals a straight line? Don't you? I mean, You don't want to bend horizontal, do you?
What I was saying was the horizon at the ocean looks pretty damn straight. Then when you compress it, there's some curve in there, and it's been proven over and over.
There's no curve in a horizontal.
It just looks horizontal because the Earth is so fucking big.
It doesn't mention that in any of the definitions of horizontal, to be honest with you.
The definition of horizontal is not talking about the globe
It's
or
talking
the
about
shape of the Earth.
Plane being parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll look that up later.
Yeah, go on. I'm giving you a few, putting a few in the definitions for you.
You're a flat earther and you can't admit it. I mean, why? If you're a flat earther, just admit it, dude.
I just live in reality, dude. Like I say, I've studied surveying. Level is horizontal, and I can prove it. So
then why are you a flat earther?
I'm not a flat earther. A flat.
You are, and you're lying.
A flat. Do you know what a flat is? Have you ever looked up the definition of flat? How good are you with words and geometry?
You don't think the Earth is a globe?
Pardon?
Did we really just talk for the last 30 minutes, and you're going to play these little semantics?
Semantics. I've been giving you the definitions of all of the words I've been using.
Do you think the Earth is a globe?
Pardon?
Do you think the world is a globe?
Absolutely not.
Again, it took us 30 minutes to get here.
No,
you kept denying it the whole time.
What?
You kept denying it the whole time, and you knew what I meant, but you want to play this little flat versus globe stuff.
You know,
I don't think so.
We just live in reality, dude.
That's fine. Explain the reality to me. Explain to me how. Explain to me.
Level is horizontal, and we establish a elevation change through a measured change in the vertical.
Measure change in the vertical? Say that again.
Well, elevation is a change in elevation is a measured change in the vertical.
Okay.
Yep.
And what happened? What was that?
That was me agreeing with that definition.
Oh, okay, go. And what happens at elevation? Does the pressure get less or more?
What? If we're talking about water, if you go up,
yes,
you get less pressure. If you go down, you get more pressure.
And air?
And air? Well, that's the same, isn't it? Vertical change.
It's exactly the same.
High to low. Yeah.
You knew that was a question I was asking you, but you went into water because you're playing games, dude.
No. We use water here. This is the water is the key. And we use water because we can measure that. We can measure it. We have been measuring it. We are testing. That's our speciality, the water.
We can measure the air pressure too.
Can you?
You don't think so?
Well, like I say, I tried to ask you a bit earlier. What is your definition of pressure? You said balls bouncing off a container.
I said gas molecules
Yeah.
bouncing off a container.
Right. So how would you measure the air pressure then? How would that work?
Well, I would think a barometer would do it.
Oh, a barometer.
Are you telling me? Are you ready, prepared?
What is it that you think a barometer does?
It measures the air pressure.
You think?
Yes.
Not the pressure of the fluid that you're dealing with inside the barometer.
Inside the barometer. Again, I don't know how the inside of a barometer works.
So you don't
Got
know
me
how
on
a
that
barometer works, but you just stated that you thought that was what would be able to measure air pressure.
Yeah. Are you prepared to tell me that sea level pressure is the same as Mount Everest pressure, top of Mount Everest?
What do you mean, sea level?
Sea level next to the sea. That's an elevation.
The water. The water at sea
Next.
level is a 0 pressure state, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what the water does. The
Atmospheric-
water establishes a 0 pressure state.
Atmospheric pressure
Oh,
at sea level.
brilliant. What's that?
I don't know. It's about 14, 15
What?
psi.
What's that?
14, 15 psi.
Yeah, but pounds. Pounds
Square
per
inch.
square
Yep.
inch. Yeah, that's a weight. Yeah. Do you know what that's a weight of? 14.7 pounds.
That's the weight of all the air above it.
You think so, do you?
I think so. Yeah.
Have you looked into this?
To be honest, not really. Not lately.
Okay.
You might want to.
Yeah.
Sure. So you guys want to send me a link? Are you saying that air pressure at sea level is not 14 to 15 psi?
Like I say, what do you class as air pressure? You want to measure the change of something against the container, don't you? I mean, like, I would say a pressure difference can only be measured in between a barrier of differing pressures, and you measure the difference, the relative difference of one pressure relative to the other pressure. So one will always be higher, the other one will always be lower, because you're measuring the pressure of a barrier and the bow to the pressure or the higher lower pressure state of either side of it. So where do you imagine that change occurs in a barometer for you to measure the difference between the high and the low pressure state of the air within a barometer?
I just told you I don't know exactly how a barometer works, but I know.
I know that. I know you don't know, because you think it's got something to do with the air.
It has everything to do with the air. Are you telling me people don't go up on top of Mount Everest and need oxygen tanks?
That's not what he said.
That's not a barometer. No, you don't take barometers up with them, do they?
Talking about air pressure.
Yeah, you were. But you
He's
were
asking,
also
how do you
talking
measure it?
about a barometer. You think a barometer measures the weight of the air, don't you?
I don't. I know that. Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Because it's 14.7 pounds, and that's a weight. And that's what you think it measures, is the weight of the air. But I don't know whether you're ready for it or not, but...
Let me have it.
Okay, well, let me just nip to the toilet. I'll be back in a bit. Somebody else might be able to help you out a bit.
But what is your knowledge of a barometer?
I just told you I don't know how a barometer works.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Since the other guy's going to take a piss, let me go get a drink.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the discussion, guys.
Just to make you feel comfortable, I didn't know how the barometer worked either. Like I was just like you. I thought.
Oh
it
yeah,
was-
agreed. Yeah, it took quite a bit of studying. Yeah.
Yep.
You really want to tell me that the air pressure at the top of Mount Everest is the same as sea level?
No one but you mentioned that.
No one but me mentioned you guys were flat earthers, but you wouldn't admit it.
Because we're not. No one here thinks that.
The dude just told me he was a flat earther.
No, he
No,
didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No, you're right.
You made that for him. He
He
didn't say
told
that.
me he told me that he doesn't believe the Earth is a globe.
Which has nothing to do with what you just said.
It has everything to do with what I just said.
No, it doesn't.
Do you think the Earth is a globe? Am I talking to a Buster?
No, 100% not.
Oh no, no way.
Meaning.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact it's not.
Okay. But what's your best evidence?
Water.
So you don't believe in gravity? You think gravity is a theory?
I think it's a vector. I think, like we've established, we already
agree.
agree. Yeah, we already agree. It's vertical, right? But I think it goes
Vector of
up
gravity
and
or-
down
yes.
vertically.
You're asking if I believe in up and down. Yes, I do.
Gravity is an upward force?
No,
Yeah, he said
vertical
that.
is up and down. There's no direction in one particular direction.
And why, when I drop something, why doesn't it go up?
Because you,
Well, it
it's
depends.
lighter than the medium.
What is it that you're dropping?
Did you drop a helium balloon?
No, but because of
There you go.
gravity, you're talking about buoyancy.
Yeah, which is a vector also, right?
Yes. And that's,
Up, up.
that's not gravity. The reason it goes up is because gravity is pulling more dense stuff down, and it forces the balloon up.
Mm.
Where does a helium balloon go in a vacuum?
It's filled with the gas, isn't it? So, like, what do vacuums do? It's like a container where they extract all of the air or gases, right, from it, don't they?
Vacuums extract gas?
A vacuum is a state where they get a box, right, and they use a pump and they extract the air or the gas or whatever was in the vacuum, so there is nothing or as little as possible within it, right?
Right.
And show me a naturally occurring vacuum where we can test what happens with a helium balloon.
Naturally occurring vacuum?
Mm-hmm.
You mean like outer space?
So you claim.
I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you could have a pocket of gas left in a vacuum somewhere, could you?
A packet of gas.
Yeah. A little ball floating around all together, going, ooh, we're sticking together here in this vacuum, us guys.
I like this section of space. I think I'll hang out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't understand anything you guys just said.
It's because it sounds ridiculous, right?
What sounds ridiculous?
A pocket of gas in a vacuum. Like, can you imagine setting a vacuum chamber up, right, and extracting all of the gas and then going, hey, you've left a bit in there.
What do you mean extracting all of the gas?
Well, how does a vacuum work for you? What do you understand a vacuum to be?
They suck all the air out.
Okay. Can you imagine doing that and going, oh, you've left a bit in there. There's a bit of gas in that vacuum hanging out together. Could you imagine that happening?
No.
No. Because it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
No, because if you were trying to make a vacuum, you would have some sort of pressure gauge saying, okay, now we got close to a vacuum.
Yep. And if there was some gas left in there, would it be left in like the top right-hand corner hanging out together as a little ball of gas?
I think it's a good question. That's a great question. I don't know.
Or would it sink to the bottom?
Because of gravity, yeah, I think it would sink to the bottom. Depending on, yeah.
Okay, the gas left in a vacuum chamber sinks to the bottom. So always the best vacuum within a vacuum chamber should be near the top.
Because of gravity.
See, that's good.
Let me ask you a question. Ready?
Go on.
I've got a like a box with glass sides, a big rectangular box, and I've got a helium balloon that's attached to the bottom. Towards the back of this box, I have an air balloon filled up with just, I blew it up, and I attach this to the top. Right? So they're just sitting there. One's hit straight up, the other one's hanging straight down. And I give this box a shove. What did the balloons do?
Oh,
why?
I've got a clue. You say that again. I'm struggling to visualize this one.
Huh? So I got like an acrylic box. Two balloons inside. One's filled with helium. It's attached to the bottom.
Okay.
The other air balloon is
Just
attached
by the
to
string.
the top. By a string, yeah.
Okay. So it's not stuck to the bottom of the thing, the helium.
Oh, it is. It is stuck.
Okay. So it can't move.
Well, it can move left or right.
Right. So it's just attached by the string then, on
Yes.
the bottom.
One's attached to the top, the other one's attached to the bottom, and they're just sitting there vertical.
Two helium balloons.
Nope.
No.
One helium balloon.
Okay. So one helium balloon going upwards, attached by a string at the bottom, and a balloon filled with air attached by a string to the top, hanging perpendicular.
And let's call that one in the back the air-filled balloon.
Yeah.
That's in the back.
Yeah.
Okay? And I give that thing a shove from back forward. What happens to those balloons?
They move.
Which way do they move?
Well, when you push it, they move towards you, don't they? I would presume so.
They don't.
Do they not?
The air-filled balloon would move towards me. Like you're sitting, like when you're in your car and you gun it, you get pinned to the back of your seat. The helium balloon, not only did that air-filled balloon go backwards, all the air in that thing went backwards too, and it created a unbalanced atmosphere. And the helium balloon went forward. And you can see this on YouTube. It's really a cool demonstration.
Brilliant. What's that mean?
That means that's why the helium balloon goes up. Because there's lower pressure on the bottom. Higher pressure on the bottom than at the top. Does anybody disagree with that?
There's higher pressure all around it, isn't there, if it's helium?
No. There's higher pressure on the bottom than the top. You have a gradient, right?
Of the helium balloon. Of the helium within the helium balloon.
Not in the balloon. I'm talking at the bottom of the balloon.
Yeah, within the helium balloon, you're saying there is a gradient of the helium. Are you?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm saying at the bottom of the balloon. Or in the example that I made, to the back of the balloon.
All around the balloon, there is air.
Yep.
Is that what you mean? When you say the back and the bottom, do you mean all around it?
Well, the example I just made, I would say the back of the balloon. But on Earth...
I think we're getting a bit obfuscated here.
Why?
Because you're just talking about a helium balloon and the fact that it wants to go upwards, like we already know, vertically. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it wants to do that is because the air within it is lighter, let's say. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, are you saying that has something to do with pressure?
Yes.
And that pressure is the difference between the air on the outside of the balloon and the helium on the inside of the balloon. So the pressure is the relative difference between the stuff on the inside of the balloon compared to the stuff on the outside of the balloon.
It's the difference between at the bottom of the balloon and the top of the balloon.
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't agree with that. I'd say
but
it's the fact that the helium is within the balloon and the air is without the balloon.
That's a few containers we got there too.
Yeah.
What's the box analogous to on Earth?
The box is when you give it a shove, all the air goes moving to the back, which is why the air-filled balloon moves to the back. And it creates an unequal system, just like gravity does on Earth. And it pushes the helium balloon forward.
Why'd you just insert gravity doing that on Earth when you got a box?
And you used it. Are you being the gravity?
I was trying to take gravity out of the equation.
But you're doing a push and then pretending you're the gravity, right? Yes. And you're doing it sideways.
Yes. I mean, you can look this up on YouTube.
I've seen it.
Okay, then what are we arguing about?
We're not arguing about anything. We're just trying to, at this minute, understand what the point of your argument, your demonstration was.
My point was, why did the helium balloon move forward while the air-filled balloon moved backwards?
One's helium and the other one's air. There's two different relative densities between the two different things, right?
Exactly.
So relative density.
So relative density.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pressure differences with relative density.
Exactly. You just made my point for me. That the air in the back was more dense than the air in the front, and it pushed the helium balloon forward, which is what makes the helium balloon go upwards.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I mean, oh my goodness.
That was really good.
One thing you'll learn from me is I mean everything I say.
Okay.
You don't ever have to ask, what do I mean? I meant exactly what I said.
Is this Buster?
This is Rakia, but Buster is the same way.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I don't mean to say, what do you mean? I mean to say, what do you not understand? What didn't I understand about that example I just gave?
How you're conflating relative density to you pushing a box in a lateral horizontal motion and relating that to the relative density of the different things in the box, and then pretending that relates in some way to gravity.
It was just an example that a gradient pressure difference, a density difference, can force lighter gases either upwards or forwards.
Yeah, helium balloons go up. I mean, we do know that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And water flows downhill.
Yeah, water goes down. Yeah, water
And why?
flows
What?
down
Because of gravity.
to reach its equilibrium, even pressure state.
It's trying to reach the 0 point, right?
What do you mean by
sea
0
level?
point?
Zero pressure differential, like that's what water does.
You think water is... you think sea level is 0 pressure point?
As close as you'll ever find it. Yes, sir.
Remember, pressure is a relative difference between two different layers, right? So where's the best difference between two different layers that you could possibly ever find?
Layers of what?
Well, anything. You take your pick. If you wanted to find a difference in pressure between one state and another, where would that barrier be? Where would that pressure difference occur?
Because of gravity, we have a gradient.
Where? Not why, or not your why, but where was the question.
Where what?
Where?
Yeah, where would you measure this pressure difference? Where would be the best barrier for you to find naturally occurring?
Well, when you climb up to Mount Everest and you die because you can't get enough oxygen.
Why are you obfuscating? Why are you obfuscating?
Could that be because oxygen, or the gas that you use to breathe, is of a slightly heavier nature? And when you go up vertically, there isn't as much of that particular breathable gas that you need and require. Could that be the reason?
No, because we all agreed that pressure... Do you think pressure is proportional to density?
I don't know. Like I say, I think
Yes.
the water leads the pressure. Personally, at a 0 equilibrium state. It's one of those ones that's a bit of a trifecta between pressure, right, and how you choose to describe it. Like what it is and how you define what pressure is. Because I think you'll find if you try and search, it's something that you've been given, it's a word you've been given that has no actual meaning. You're struggling now to work out exactly what it is.
Pressure is force over area.
So you think, what's the force?
The force, I told you, it's the molecules that are slamming up against the container.
Bouncing balls. Tiny balls.
I didn't say bouncing balls, I said molecules.
Well, what's a molecule then?
What are you talking about? It's gas.
What's the area?
You tell me. The area in the atmosphere is really, really big. And because of gravity...
No, sorry. The area. Do you know what an area is? we're going to geometrical terms now. Yeah, go on then. What is an area?
I mean, it's the confines of whatever the hell we're talking about, whether it's the ocean or the atmosphere or.
Okay, so you're talking about force over area. How exactly would you plug some numbers into that? What is it we're talking about then? Because if you're talking about pressure being force over area.
Do you deny that?
No,
that pressure?
Please don't. We're trying to work out how you would measure pressure. That's what we tried to do. But then you said force over area. But what's the force and what's the area? And how do you put one of them over the other one?
You want to tell me that pressure is not proportional to density?
I just told you just a bit earlier. The pressure is really hard for you to explain. Hard for me to explain too. We've not really delved into it that much. Because like I say, I think it's more of a trifecta than what you think with your force over area. I mean, you do realise that your area thing, you're going to struggle with that one. Definitely. But you don't even know why you are going to struggle with it just yet.
Struggle against what?
Area. As far as pressure's concerned. Because I'd say area is a vertical column. Like inch squared, right? You've heard of that, right? That's an area, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's not fixed. It can be little or it can be small.
What do you mean? An inch square? No, that's a definite fucking area, that. We go back to your one earlier. 14.7 pounds per square inch. They were your numbers that you wanted to say for the weight of the air.
Do you disagree with that?
Absolutely. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Then
if you think it's air, yeah, definitely, absolutely.
That's why we were asking your knowledge on a barometer, but it's fine. And you don't. Well, I didn't know it one time, so
yeah.
Well, then we're about done here, aren't we?
I don't know.
You're going to tell me that sea level is not around 14 to 15 psi, then what's the point?
That's why I asked how you measure it
at
the beginning.
It's the weight of mercury, isn't it?
Okay.
And do you know what that mercury is due to represent?
No. Mercury that represents?
What the mercury is there to represent. Density comes into it as well, relative density.
It was a substitute, yeah.
I told you I don't know exactly how a barometer works.
Okay, well, I'll give you a quick rundown. A mercury barometer is mostly what you'd be talking about. Is the true mercury barometer. It's about a yard. I don't know, maybe 30. I don't know. Is it something like 33 inches or something like that of mercury when you represent it? But what it is there is a, how do you say this? A vertical column that is attained. Have you ever heard of a siphon? Do you know how a siphon works? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, now water, or let's say water, right? Flows from one thing to another. Have we got a picture of this, DP? I'm know I have somewhere, but I can't remember where it is, where I've put it, and try and find
that
it.
one on my
I think it's in
monkey, isn't it? Oh, I know I've got it somewhere.
Oh, here it is. Here we go.
The two buckets.
Yeah, I've got the question.
Oh.
Right, so you see this one, the question there, right? Given any length of any water level of an unlimited length, right? Do you think there is a distance that you could have where the water levels you could sort of stretch it out where it wouldn't become equal? But you said that you think one drops, don't you?
Yes.
Right, well, can you see that one in the middle of that? You've got B and M, and then you've got point A, which is like a vertical distance above what we call the equilibrium, the head of the pressure of the water, right? Where the water finds its equilibrium at B and M. So A. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I really can't see this thing.
Can you not?
Very well. But I mean, how far away are the? I mean, you're talking about the water in the hose.
Yeah. This is just to give you an example of how a barometer works and where a barometers come from, right? But
see.
So you've got B and M. Like, just imagine that's the water level. Now, if you lift that point A up in the middle, right, you would still be able to make that water level adjust through the siphoning process, wouldn't you? Because that's what a siphon is. The water goes up and then goes back down to find a lower state of pressure. The water will flow. But there becomes a point where A lifts above the point B to M, a vertical distance where something strange occurs, and that process of siphoning stops occurring. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of trying to siphon gas out of my lawnmower, and it doesn't always work this way. I give it a suck on one, and next thing I know, I got a mouthful of gasoline.
Yeah. Well, so if you were to have a tank of water, then there is a limit to how far you can do that, right? The water will go up and then come back down again, but only to a limit. And this will probably come as a surprise to you, but the furthest you can make that water move away from the head of pressure upwards in a vertical distance is and continue that siphoning process. 33 feet.
33 feet?
Yeah, 33 feet. And then that siphoning process stops. Right, but obviously you can't have a barometer 33 feet long because it's water, right? So you need to be able to do that very thing, but not with water, because you need to cut it down. So what you do is you find something that has a relative density equal to water, but the most dense liquid that you can find, which is mercury. And mercury has I think it's 13, or is it 30? I don't know. I always
13.6 or something like that.
Relative density to water. Water always has the 1, right? Everything gets referred to water. So they have water as 1, mercury is 13.6 or 13.7. which means that you can bring that 33 feet down to about 33 inches. maybe 36 inches or something like that, right? So that's why a barometer has mercury in it, because the mercury is a substitute for the water.
It's 10 meters of water is equivalent to 760 millimeters mercury. Is that? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's 30 inches.
Yeah, it's in metric. It's 10 meters to 760 millimeters. Yeah,
and it must be 33 feet to 30 inches or something like that. But that's what makes a barometer made out of mercury, right? That's why they have mercury barometers instead of. Well, they do still have water barometers. You can still do that. But what it is holding the water or the mercury isn't the air, it's the vacuum negative state of the water or the mercury, because that's what they do. They invert it and put it into a vacuum state, supposedly. It's pretty interesting when you get into working out what a barometer is and how it works.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So the whole scientific world tells us that water, atmospheric pressure is 14 psi at sea level because they hate you and they want to lie to you.
It's 14 pounds per square inch because that's how much mercury is left in the tube when they invert it at sea level. The weight of the mercury within the tube, 14.7 pounds. Not the air, the mercury.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say to that.
Well, not many people do. It's just one of those things.
Thank you for my mechanics in barometer lesson.
Take it away with you and try and falsify it, right? I no doubt you will, and I don't blame you. Please do look into it. And if you ever find a mercury barometer demonstration, let us know. Send us it if you can find it.
I will.
We might have to get a rich benefactor somewhere that's got a load of mercury and get a tube. See how it works. Do you think, like if you were to find a tube, fill it up in a big vat of mercury and then sort of invert it so you're standing it upwards, and obviously the mercury's wanting to push down, but because it's in a tube, do you think there would be an air lock or a vacuum created at the top of that tube?
I don't know.
Or do you think mercury would cavitate?
I think mercury will be pulled down by the force of gravity.
Yeah, but what would
heavy.
What would replace it at the top? Would it cavitate into mercury gas, or would it form a vacuum at the top?
I don't know.
No.
Would that be a vacuum or just like a negative pressure state on the top?
It's interesting that. I mean, that is. I'd really like to have a go at doing it. I mean, we do the water one anyway. That's dead easy to do the water one, isn't it? 33 feet. That's all you've got to do is get up 33 feet away. And if you've got tubes, water levels of over 400 meters, then obviously 33 feet should be a piece of piss, shouldn't it? But the mercury one would be more interesting. Because I would really like to know whether Mercury cavitates like water does at 33 feet, or whether it causes a vacuum. But if it doesn't cavitate and it causes a vacuum, then we can make a pure vacuum. But I'm not so sure that's possible, is it? The mercury would have to cavitate. So do you consider this like a Globe Earth training camp? Like, because I mean, you came in here looking for some flat earthers and you've not found any flat earthers. But have you found some arguments that you never even heard of? Because we are like a different breed right here. It's definitely not what you expected, right, from a flat earther. That's because we're not flat earthers. We just live in reality. No, we just live in reality. We everything that we do and everything we've talked about tonight just comes from reality. We can prove everything we've talked about, all of us here.
You couldn't prove why. Can I ask you something else? Explain seasons on the globe. Explain seasons on your non-globe Earth.
Winter.
Four of them.
It gets cold, and sometimes we get snow, but not all the time. And then
why?
After that, we get
spring.
Spring, when the little plants and shoots start growing, and the birds start chirping.
Why?
It gets warmer.
Yeah, and it starts to get warmer, and then we have summer, where it gets well. I say UK, it normally rains.
Yeah, it's just been hot and sticky this year. No real sunshine.
And then after the summer, there's a big growing season. That's when we do all our planting of the crops and get on all of that. And then after that, here we get autumn. That's the bit where all the leaves fall off the trees.
Bam,
so
seasons.
Shutting down, yeah. Then back into the winter again. That's all 4 of them.
You guys are funny. I like you.
And it's cyclical as well. Goes round in a big cycle, one after the other.
You're in the northern hemisphere, right?
We're in the UK.
And Miss what?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're north of the equator.
Don't trigger him. I don't know. I've never been. Where's the equator? What's that?
Just an imaginary line.
What would you define the equator as being?
What separates our globe in 2 halves, north and south.
What?
My model predicts. My model dictates.
Dictates, yeah.
North and south. That's nice.
Okay, say center and outer.
I wouldn't know.
Why
I only live in the UK, just a little tiny place.
I love the UK. I've been there a couple of times. Love it. But it's summer in the UK when it's winter in Australia. Why is that?
Because they have different seasons to us, maybe. Well, they have the same seasons, but
why?
Just back to front.
Why?
Why?
Why is it colder there than it is here?
Exactly.
Well, it's the temperature change, difference.
Okay. Which is sick.
Why?
These whys.
But Don't you think you need to explain that?
No, I haven't got it. No, one of the best things when you learn, right, truly learn about life, there are things you cannot explain, and you shouldn't try.
Sure.
You like to hear stories, might be the issue. Like, we're more into reality than storytelling. Not being ugly, you know what I'm saying? Not being. We could give you some theories and stories.
Yeah, you've not come here for stories, though, have you?
No, I'm come here for reality, just like the guy said. Why? What's the difference between summer and winter where you live? Don't you think you need to explain that?
No.
I don't think I need to explain it. It's just something I live in, right? Stuff changes. But what would be the reason that you would need an explanation for that?
There must be a really good reason why it's hotter than hell in the summertime in the United States and you can freeze your ass off in the northern states. There must be a really good reason for that.
I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
I have a clue.
Go on.
Because the Earth is tilted on its axis, and as it orbits the sun, one side of the globe gets more direct.
Again.
One side of the globe.
One half of the globe, the northern half of the globe.
Do you not think it's spinning?
I know it's spinning.
Okay, so it's spinning. So why would one half of the north?
Because it's also orbiting the sun, and it's tilted on an axis.
What would those distances be in relation to the seasons?
The distance doesn't matter.
What?
Okay. If I'm closer to the fire, I get hotter. If I'm further away from the fire, I'm usually colder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, get 93 million miles from that fire, and then get 90 million miles from the fire. Do you think you're going to notice a difference?
I would probably
enough to get seasons.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that was the point. You wouldn't.
That's what you're advocating, surely. And it's less than 3 million different miles, isn't it? Aren't you talking about the supposed difference between the distance from the sun to the equator and from the sun to a little bit further up round the corner over the edge of the hump a bit? I don't know. No.
I didn't say the difference from the equator. I said the difference from the northern and the southern hemisphere. Actually, no, I didn't say distance.
Yeah, from the sun.
I said
you've got 93 million miles, and then you've got like an extra what? I don't know. How far? Do you know any of your numbers?
I said the direct sunlight hits the northern hemisphere in the summer more directly than it hits the southern hemisphere because it's tilted on its axis. That's what I said.
He's saying, but you've got a supposed distance to the big ball of gas from 93 million miles, and then the difference between the equator to the poles on your model is 3959. The 3,000, or call it 4. 4,000, right? Well, so you've got a difference between 93 million miles and then an extra 4,000, and that difference is what you say makes one really hot and the other bit really cold.
Nope.
Nope.
I didn't talk about the temperature difference from the equator. I talked about the temperature difference between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere.
Oh, it's even less than 4,000 then, right? Not the full.
I don't care about distance.
Imagined radius. Well, that's what you.
The equator is always
the tilt. The difference in the tilt, is that what you're saying? What's that?
Yes. And the equator has the less difference as far as the tilt goes.
66.7 degrees.
And here comes the religious nonsense.
What?
Here comes the religious nonsense.
Please don't do any religious nonsense.
That was my plea to you.
Oh.
Don't give me this 66 degrees bullshit.
No, what is the tilt then? Because that's what you were talking about, the tilt.
What is the tilt then?
Please tell us what the tilt is of your supposed model. And please, please do not give me any religious bullshit.
23.4 to 5 to 6 degrees. I don't know. It varies because the Earth wobbles a little bit.
Which is 66.6 or 7 degrees off of 90.
Okay.
And then you topped it off with more religious stuff.
Do you just went with the other tilt?
Wobble.
You just went with the other degree thing.
I'm not religious at all.
Oh. But you did come up with a
I'm not
tilt
religious.
number. Who gave you that number? Which
number?
religious leader gave you that number for the tilt?
Scientists.
Mm-hmm. But it's not religious.
And it makes more sense. It makes more sense.
You've not.
You know,
you've
the reason
not
I
took,
asked you guys
you've
this.
definitely not took that on faith, have you?
I'm guessing he hasn't been and measured it himself.
You're right. You're right. I can't get in my rocket ship and prove that the Earth is tilted.
So trust, faith.
It was faith then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you guys how to do what's the difference, and you had no idea.
There's no tilt. It's horizontal. That's what we've been saying all along. The water, we can prove the water level is horizontal.
And explain the difference in the. Oh, we already discussed water. Now we're talking about the seasons. Explain the seasons on your non-globe Earth.
We already have. They change.
No, you didn't.
Four of them.
The temperature changes.
4 seasons.
Explain the temperature
Vivaldi
change.
did a good. He laid it down in
Who?
music. There was no lyrics and words or anything, but he did it very well.
You could say that was a classical piece of music.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a quick question for you, actually. What's your name? Sorry. Farkle. Mr. Farkle. Going back to geometry, really. Horizontal lines. 2 of them would be parallel, yeah? Hello? Are you still there?
I can't hear you. You said 2 horizontal lines will be parallel.
Would be parallel.
Yep.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. Do you think you can get those horizontal lines to ever intersect?
No.
Okay, thank you.
What about 2 straight lines? 2 straight lines can never meet, right? 2 intersecting straight lines can never meet back, right?
Right.
Great.
Do you know?
We do agree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting because the way you came in, came in calling us a flat earther. Now, although we're not flat earthers, we have been called flat earthers. You'll probably, you won't deny that, right? Because you were ready to call us flat earthers. But you know that some of the things. Well, there you go. You say that, but some of the things that you've said, we've been called flat earthers for also. Because, like Buster just said, we we do agree on a lot of things.
Except the shape of the Earth.
What about triangles? Do you think a triangle can have more than 180 degrees? Or less?
On a sphere,
Or less?
It can. On a sphere, it can, yes.
Can a triangle have less than 180 degrees then?
No.
Right, so a triangle... I'd say a triangle
You
can
wanna show me
only have 180 degrees.
Okay.
Because one of the well, there's a few different constituent things for triangles, right? As the name says, 3 angles, 3 corners, and the other one is 3 straight lines, right? You can't have a triangle that hasn't got 3 angles, or a triangle that hasn't got 3 straight sides. Right?
On a sphere, you can. And how did we get off the seasons?
Well, we finished them, because, I mean, that was dead.
No, we didn't. you never described, explain the seasons. On your fake pizza
What
Earth.
do you mean by explain? Like, what sort of
Explain why it's warmer.
Like, dude, we
Don't you
live in
think you need
the
to
UK. It
explain
hardly
why-
ever gets warmer.
That's true.
Hardly ever stops fucking raining either.
I think it's hot in the summer.
Well, it sort of gets a bit warm and stuffy, yeah, but
Gets muggy.
it's just slightly warmer rain.
Yeah. It's a warm shower instead of a cold one.
We're very practical people around here. We like to just do practical things and tools.
I got another question about horizontal lines. Can they ever intersect? How can I put this? No, I'll come back to that one. Because I asked you if they could ever intersect and you said no.
Yeah.
So horizontal lines can never intersect. Correct?
Parallel lines can never intersect.
Horizontal lines.
Okay, I'll go with that too.
Yeah, being... Right, okay.
So, would that be based on the fact that if all horizontal lines are parallel to the plane of the horizon, then all horizontal lines must be parallel to each other? So,
that's what I was looking for.
Based on a form of logic, right?
I don't think the I don't think that the horizon is horizontal.
But we deal a lot in logic round here, and I've got one here. This is. Have you ever heard of Euclid? You've heard of Euclidean geometry, have you?
Yes.
Right. Let's see this one. Proposition 30 states. Straight lines which are parallel to the same straight line are parallel to one another. Would you agree with that as a logical statement?
Yes.
It's obviously it's in Euclid, so it's a bit of a trick question, that really. Sorry. It's a proposition, it's a proof, isn't it? So that's a proof that straight lines which are parallel to the same straight line are parallel to one another. So as an extension of that, we could say if horizontal is defined as being parallel to the plane of the horizon as a straight line, then following the logic, you would necessarily have to say that all horizontals are parallel to each other.
I just told you I don't think the horizon is parallel to a straight line.
Well, it
looks that way, doesn't it?
Like I say, horizontal mathematically is defined as being parallel to the plane of the horizon. So, I mean,
don't care about definitions.
You don't care about mathematical definitions.
Is that a mathematical definition?
Pardon? Yeah, have you not tried looking it up yet? Find any of your mathematical sites or whatever and type in horizontal. Vertical will be described as being perpendicular to the plane of the horizon also.
Yep.
Because it's how you orientate yourself. Vertical and horizontal, they're the two right lines that we use in reality and that form the basis of the right angle that we use whenever we do trigonometry or surveying. It gives us the foundations of how we do the plane parallel and how we can measure the vertical change.
Elevation.
Got them all.
Did somebody send you in here? Or did you just happen to find us?
I just happened to find you.
Lucky you.
But they were watching a soccer game, and I was like, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit about that.
I left as well. And I played 7 seasons of soccer, but I can't watch it.
Yeah. I watched, I never liked soccer until I got stuck in Europe for a week or two, and that's all there was on TV. And I thought, oh, this is kind of entertaining.
Until you watch England play.
Yeah.
Then it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Did they lose?
Sorry about
it. Penalties again.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Thanks for concern.
What's your opinion on 2D, 3D?
Oh God.
You've got
What about it?
Well, what a sphere, right? A circle is a 2-dimensional shape. Yeah.
A sphere is not 2-dimensional. The circle is 2-dimensional.
A circle is 2-dimensional. Brilliant.
That's what Bev said.
So, and a square is a 2-dimensional.
That's not what he said.
Right. So the surface of the circle is 2-dimensional. Right. The surface of a square is 2-dimensional. Same as the shape. Right. So a sphere, as we know, 3-dimensional. Solid Euclidean object, right? It's in book 11, defined as a 3-dimensional.
Book 11?
Yeah.
What do you mean, book 11?
I mean, book 11 of Euclidean geometry, solid, 3-dimensional. The surface of a sphere. How many dimensions does that have?
A surface of a sphere has 3 dimensions.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. You see, you do.
We agree a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot in common.
Oh boy. Yep. I like you guys. I told you, I like you guys.
Yeah,
I don't want to fight.
I like you.
Welcome
For
to
30
horizontal level.
Okay. For 30 minutes, you guys were dishonest. You said you weren't flat earthers, and you are.
Not flat earth.
And that's how I found you.
Dude, see, flat is two-dimensional, isn't it? The surface is two-dimensional.
Okay.
And as we've just agreed, the surface of a sphere and reality is three-dimensional. It's not flat. There is a vertical component that is measured as a change in that is a change in elevation. So the fact that there is an elevation change, that negates flatness. Actually, I was watching that Flat World the other day. Quite funny. It gets a bit to get it to understand it, because they're all different shapes and they can't see each other because you're looking down on them. Have you watched any of that yet? Flat World. There was that book.
That's based on that book, isn't it? Flat Earth. Yeah, I read the book a few years ago. So I think I want to reread the book and then watch the thing.
Yeah, we don't live in Flat World. We live in reality.
But you don't think the world is a globe?
It's absolutely not a globe.
We know it's not.
Yeah.
Here.
Then explain the seasons. You must have a model.
Wow.
Model obsessed as well, are you?
I'm not obsessed, but I think it's important.
So, in order for you to let go of your globe, we have to take that out of your right hand and give you a replacement in your left hand? Is that what you want?
Yes.
But what would the difference make for the seasons, right? You'd still plant all of your crops in the spring, wouldn't you? And could do all of that. And you'd still go on your holidays in the summer. In the winter, you'd wrap up warm, right? So if we were to give you an explanation of why that happened, or our ideas on why that happened, would that change anything for you? I can't understand why you keep going to the why do the seasons work. I mean, how would that change anything at all?
If you could explain the seasons on a non-globe Earth, and it made more sense than the globe, then I would go, maybe we don't live on a ball.
Well,
but you can't do that.
But we went through yours, and it didn't really make good sense either.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you. I didn't explain. Well, yeah, I guess I did. I told you that the Earth is tilted.
And don't forget the wobble.
But weren't we talking about shape
wobble
initially? You keep saying flat. That's definitely, you consider some sort of a shape, right? A replacement for a ball, right? And then you're saying, what would make you switch from a ball to a flat, which you assume, right? Not just what it already is. We both look at, right? You're not going to go with that. What you want is a replacement for the seasons. Like, not a replacement for the shape of something, right? You think the water level curves, right? Although we keep saying we can prove that level is horizontal. Now, you're not bothered about a proof for level being horizontal. You're more concerned about the seasons. I mean, I find that really strange.
There's no debate on the seasons. Everyone agrees they happen.
Yes. Why do they happen?
Oh, okay, well, what about this? They happen, right? They're always going to happen in the same order, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, they just happen. So what is? It is. Well, we deal with practical things. So a water level creates a horizontal. We don't ask why it does that. We just know what it does, and we have a proof that it does what it does.
And I say because of gravity.
And it's gravity that makes a water level establish a horizontal plane of reference, right?
Yes.
Perpendicular to the surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think you realize what you just agreed to.
Okay, that one dude needs to turn his mic down because I can't understand it. I asked you the question about the seasons because I thought you were going to break out some bullshit about the sun magically going around the Earth between the tropics.
We don't even know what the sun is, mate.
And we don't deal in bullshit.
Okay, good for you. So you don't know what it is, you just know.
Plenty of other servers out there that will give you all the bullshit you need. If you want the bullshit, go and see them.
Okay, I stopped there first, or second. 24-second Discord kicked me out. But if you don't know what the sun is, you just know what it's not. That's kind of funny to me.
Nobody said we don't know what it is, right? I mean, you could say it's not a giant teddy bear, right? I mean that.
Dude, just.
But it might be. I mean, I haven't got a clue.
So you just said it too, and that dude before you said we don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know
the
what it is.
scientific community.
No, I'm not speaking for any community. I'm just saying me personally. You won't get me speaking for anybody else, right? Although I have been given permission to speak for quite a few people on certain things because, like, we have a consensus here of things, and most people know that we don't go off our heads claiming stupid things. If we don't know, we don't know.
You want to talk about consensus?
If you want.
Consensus of opinion, you mean?
Yeah.
Who cares about anybody else's opinion?
You can talk about the consensus of this server in particular, for certain arguments, but I mean, certain things I wouldn't dare speak for anybody else on.
Okay. But when I ask you what causes the seasons, you just go, temperature change. And I say, what causes the temperature change? Don't you think that's important?
It happens. We know it happens.
It happens.
We deal with
Shit
it,
happens.
you know, regularly.
Yeah.
We deal with it.
Yeah. I deal with it too. And it sucks living in the southeastern United States, and it's hot and humid. But it's really cold in the wintertime, and I need to know why. And you guys are just like, it happens. Don't you think it's important to know why?
Well, I could ask all day long why a water level does what it does, or I could just use it practically and know what it does and how to use it.
Seek truth.
Well,
Speak Lies has done a video, and he's debating Spurs, isn't he?
No,
this
is he?
week. Yeah. on Tuesday at 10 p.m. UK time. Will you be there to watch me destroy his religion? So I've put a thing to him. I've put, good luck, la. I've remixed one of your songs for you. I hope you like it.
Maybe he'll use it as theme music. I'm
not giving him the song yet. I want him to reply back to me to go like, what song? Where? Let me see it. I want him to show a bit of keenness about it, and then I'll give it him. Who are your boys? You know, like Mr. Farkle. Who are your Globe heroes? Who are your Globe defenders? Who are the top Globe defenders? If you had to have we did this one, didn't we? With the team, top two, what do you call them? Debunkers. Debate team.
I have no heroes. Yeah, I have no heroes except my father.
No, I mean,
the guys that I really like.
A debate. Yeah, if you had to run a debate team, who would be your top two picks to debate?
Yeah, I would take Fight the Flat Earth and MC Toon.
Really? That's nice.
Two worse ones.
That'd be a good.
Two worse ones? What do you mean worse?
Do you reckon those two would be able to take me on with the geometry argument, with like you've just been through tonight, with the level is horizontal?
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. I think both those guys demand that. Do you want me to help set it up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, modern day debates or something like that.
Oh, so you don't want to go on their channels?
I'm not going on their channels, no. They just do entertainment. They've admitted that. They just do entertainment. They don't do proper debates.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But Fight the Flat Earther was just on Modern Day Debates last night.
Yeah.
With Flat Earth Aussie Jesus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I just know Fight is always looking for Flat Earthers to debate, and
well, yeah, but we're
That
not
could be a
flat
problem.
earthers. Yeah.
okay, we're still playing that semantics game. Cool.
Right, well, words do have meanings, so yeah, we do that all of the time, right?
Okay.
Especially the mathematical words that I use.
And you did just establish that flat is a 2D surface.
Huh?
So
tell me what shape of what do you think is the Earth shape?
The mountains are sort of lumpy bits.
Yeah, so it's not flat like a pizza.
No.
Sausage, a big, large chunk of sausage makes it.
Don't know. I've never
not
been
flat.
Like I say, I only live in the UK. I have never been to the extremities, so not got a.
Have you ever been to America?
Pardon?
Have you ever been to United States?
Nope.
No. Come visit us sometime.
Yeah, carer, mate. I don't get a chance to do anything like that. We make our lot with what we've got.
Okay. Too bad for you.
Yeah.
I've been to the UK, and
I'll be fine.
It's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm happy here.
So who?
I don't need to go anywhere else, really. Yeah, I've never
Really?
been to the extremities, so I couldn't tell you what.
What's extremities?
Well, I've only measured the bit that I live on, right? I can't measure things that where I'm not at. So
you never wanted to
wanted me
visit
give
New York City?
Well, is that the edges? Well, would I be able to measure, tell you what shape it was if I had have been to New York City?
I'm not talking about measuring anything. I'm saying, don't you desire to go see other parts of the world?
Well, like, dreaming big is all well and good, but like I say, I'm a carer, and I care for my missus and my lad. So, New York is not going to happen. There's no point me doing that. It's like trying to imagine something. I'm not very good at that.
So who should I tell Fight the Flat Earth once debate him on modern day debates?
Tell him try thinking. He'll know.
Try thinking?
Yeah.
He will know.
Oh, yes.
And I bet you he... Okay. Try thinking.
Yeah.
So that's different than Bev try thinking?
That is Bev try thinking.
Oh. I thought Bev was a woman.
Oh, a lot of people do.
Okay. You're cool, man.
Yeah.
The problem with modern day debates, they got so much going on, we're probably going to have to wait a month with your schedules. What? Why don't...
No, that's all right. It'll be worth it.
Yes. Level. Tell him he can bring Ruhif as well if he wants. And Cats.
Yeah, Rufus.
And Ranty. Get Ranty in there as well. Get a big team of them.
He doesn't need those guys.
He might.
I think he will.
He'll need some help.
Why won't... Is this your Discord?
No.
Try thinking?
No.
No? I'm guessing he would come on here, or your channel, and debate you.
You reckon? Fight the Flat Earth?
I think so.
You don't know Fight the Flat Earth.
You're right, I don't know him.
I'd be absolutely amazed if you could do that. I don't... you do know he doesn't go anywhere where he doesn't have full control over the entire situation.
He was just on Modern Day Debates last night.
Uh-huh.
And he crushed Flat Earth Aussie Jesus.
Uh-huh. If that's what you think, so...
Okay, well, maybe he didn't crush him.
Yeah.
But he was on there.
Yeah,
he goes in neutrals channels. And he also says he would do Dearth. And...
He'd do Dearth?
Idiot. That's what he said.
Well, if I have a word with somebody, and what about if I could represent Dearth?
I don't know what that means.
Dave.
David Weiss.
Yeah.
It's Weiss, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I know. I called it. I mispronounced it on purpose because he's an idiot.
Why say that? Do you know him?
I don't know him, but I've heard plenty of his stuff, and I think he's just a liar.
See, that's a pretty bad attitude, that, to go into a conversation. You don't know the guy, but you're already preconceived ideas.
Can I ask a question? You say you're not religious, right?
No.
You're not religious, but I mean, I'm just making an analogy that if you're not religious and you don't believe in any of that, I mean, would you call somebody that is religious that believes? I mean, there's like multiple religions. Would you call them liars?
No.
Well, then why would you call a guy just trying to seek out nature, like things in real life, and just trying to figure out his world around him, and just call him a liar?
because I think he says things that are not true, like GPS doesn't work in Antarctica, and
Well, have you been to
DirecTV
Antarctica to check GPS?
no.
Okay, I mean,
So you call him a
Has
liar
he?
for something you can't verify.
Has he been to Antarctica?
Ask him.
I have no idea, but we wouldn't call him a liar over it.
Well, if he would talk to me, then I would ask him, but he's a coward, and he blocks you.
Whoa. See,
Coward
again, that's
and a
another
liar.
one. Is he a coward
Listen, I
just
don't wanna get
because he's
into-
not talked to you? Is that what you're saying? Because there's a lot of people that haven't talked to me, but I don't call them cowards. Like I wouldn't call Fight the Flat Earth a coward for running away from a debate. Like
When-
he's good,
when
like
did he run?
like he is going to do when you ask him. Like I'm saying,
Has he
I
run away
wouldn't
from?
do that. Like I'm sure you wouldn't call him a coward if he were to not debate me, wouldn't you?
If he was afraid to debate you, I would call him a coward.
Okay.
Would he slip from your
He
top
won't.
2 debaters then?
Yes, absolutely, you would.
Who would you replace him with?
This is kind of silly.
Would it be Ruhif or Ranty or?
I don't know Ranty at all. Or Rufus. I've never listened to any of their stuff.
I reckon.
I would say
Spasticus.
Simon Dan.
Oh, Lyman Scam.
Wow, do you reckon you? I've never seen Simon Dan debate
Doesn't
anyone.
debate.
He doesn't
No.
do debates. That'd be like that'd be like a dream thing. That right? You've never seen him debate anyone, have you?
No.
No.
And I've never seen Durth. Go ahead.
Which league did you sponsor?
Yeah, I can't understand that guy. He's so overmodulated.
you can turn people down individually if you click on their name. It'll give you a volume to turn them down a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks. I'm new to Discord.
No, that's
I
cool.
will admit I'm an idiot.
No worries.
So who was just said that? Who just said that?
It's Rakia Life.
Rakia.
Is the you
I
want
had-
to turn down a bit.
I have to adjust them all the time. Sometimes people come in hot. Sometimes their signal's better than other times.
How's my signal?
You're all right. I just turned you down.
It's all right. A little bit
But you're
bassy.
good.
Comes across a bit bassy. but-
Somebody told me earlier that I was like AM.
Sounds like you've got a fan in the background.
Bit of clicking.
Not anymore.
It might be within the signal.
When I first
though.
came on here,
It's just a.
but so let's review.
Yep.
Fight the Flat Earth will debate Bev. Try thinking.
Do you think?
I say he won't.
Okay.
No, I'd say he won't.
I bet you he does. I bet you $1 million. Well, I don't have $1 million, but I bet you would.
Don't do that.
But you don't want to go on his channel.
Oh no. No, he's
just-
already admits he doesn't do proper debates, and if it was on his channel, you know what'd happen. You know what he's like.
I do. He talks over people, no doubt about it. But he's right.
He's right.
Yeah.
What, to talk over people and not let them get their point across and to berate people?
That's not right.
So he's
But
not
I
right.
think
then.
he knows physics, and
Oh, what have you heard about that thing with Steve McRae and Cheshire Vicky? I mean, They're not too
No.
keen, and they don't.
We're talking
think,
about-
They think he's lying about his physics stuff, don't they? Have you not heard about that?
I knew there was a problem with fundraisers and stuff, but
No. They would
I haven't-
ditch him, fight the flat Earth, because they said he'd lied to them about his qualifications within his physics. Yeah. I'd look into it because he, maybe a little bit dodgy. He said that one of his proofs of a globe is that he calculated how much diesel the submarine used.
Right.
To get it from like Scotland to South Africa or something like that, I think. Do you know how many diesel submarines we have?
well, wasn't he on a nuclear submarine?
Bam.
Bingo.
Yeah. So how would you imagine that one of his globe proofs was him being able to calculate how much diesel the engines used to get?
And there's the one about his children being able to, what is it? Find out wherever they are.
Calculate their position.
Just using
anywhere.
just using a pendulum. Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
He's not. I bet he's
You're
not.
talking about Foucault's pendulum.
No,
just a pendulum.
He says he's taught his kids, who are pretty young, to be able to position themselves anywhere on the earth with only a pendulum.
The latitude is what he's talking about.
No. I'll see if I can find the tweet for you. I had to confirm it with him as well, because, like I say, it does sound fantastic, doesn't it? And you have to go, like, are you sure? Well,
Sure. I mean, I feel really comfortable.
You feel really what?
there you go. Why my kids
I
can
feel really
calculate
uncomfortable.
their position on the earth exactly using nothing but a swinging pendulum. I don't know why he had the jail thing. Nobody said that, anything about that. That's him over exaggerating. He wasn't replying to me, although I was in that thread. So that's pretty good, right? So that's definitely a good claim, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish I knew what he was talking about.
And
if you have a
we call it Fight the Flat Earth, GPPS.
I can explain it in 2 words.
We call it the ground pendulum positioning system. It's going to be taken over.
What 2 words would you use, Rakia?
BS.
Oh, and I tell you what, I've been listening to recently that one with Kosho, where we went over to Brandon's and we were doing the Albaruni. That's fucking great. We're gonna have to go over that again. Have you ever heard of that? The Albaruni method, because that is pure geometry. That is right up our street. That. And,
no.
You've never heard of Albaruni? Because he's got, the perfect maths. This is Fight the Flat Earth again. Because you think he's good at this sort of stuff, don't you? So the perfect maths is H equals R, brackets, 1 minus cos A, close brackets. That's it. It's not hard, he says. That's the perfect maths. And so I ask him, what's H? And he says, observer height. So the perfect maths works out H, which is the observer height. So if you want to know where you are for observing, all you've got to do is this perfect maths and you can find out the height that you're at. It's perfect. But I mean, it is a basis of Al-Biruni. He's derived it from Al-Biruni. We will go over it because we need to go over Al-Biruni as well, really.
Cool. I don't know.
You ever heard of Soundly?
Yeah, he said he had. We went over that earlier.
Do you know Soundly says you can see Earth curve from ground level?
I've heard of Soundly, but I didn't know he said that you could see curvature. Ground level.
From ground level, if you have 20/20 vision.
If he said that, then I would disagree with him.
You seem to disagree with the people that you believe in.
I disagree with one thing that he said.
Yeah, but you also disagree with Flight to Flat Earth on a few things. He's going to disagree with you on some of the geometry points you've made tonight.
If you disagree with Soundly, would you call him a liar?
Oh, what a great question.
Ooh, that is good one.
I wouldn't call him a liar. Yeah, I wouldn't call him a liar because I think he probably believes what he's saying.
You don't think Darth believes in what he's saying?
Who?
Darth, you know the guy you called a coward and a liar?
No. No, I don't. And he could prove what he believes. Did you see that dickhead run away from Red's rhetoric about 3 months ago?
Coward, liar, and dickhead.
Run away from Red's rhetoric.
Quite the list you got going.
Red's rhetoric's going to jail, isn't he? I mean, he wasn't fit to do anything 3 months ago. I mean, from what we've heard, Red's rhetoric can't actually talk to anyone. He can't physically. He goes crazy when somebody disagrees with him. He can't socialise with people. So I don't think Red's rhetoric's in a position to talk to or debate anyone, to be honest.
I think Red made some amazing videos of the ISS transiting the moon. And then he went on another channel, a religious channel, and as soon as David Weiss figured out it was him, he ran away like a little bitch.
What do you think of Ranty? Do you know about him? Have you heard of his globe proof that he's coming over with?
Yes.
Wow, what do you think of that?
I think that picture is pretty good proof of the globe. That tower is higher than the mountains in the background because of curvature.
Right. Nice.
Are you aware of the distances involved?
I don't know them off the top of my head.
No.
Are you aware? Blindly? Are you aware that it's not Ranty's picture?
No.
Are you aware that he's just found a picture on Facebook?
Okay.
And that picture has been stacked and manipulated.
Sure. Maybe.
No, not maybe.
You want to talk
definitely.
about the blood? Okay. I don't need that picture to make me think the Earth is a globe. You want to talk about the black swan? How ridiculous that thing is?
Yep. Go on then. I'd love to.
If I showed you a picture of those two oil platforms, one with the cranes all bent and crooked, and a apparent horizon in the background, and then I showed you another picture where they were clearly behind the horizon, which one do you think is more real?
They're both just pictures. The black swan's a logical argument.
So you wouldn't choose between one or two?
No, I'd say it's fucking ridiculous to try and pretend that a logical argument relates to a picture.
Exactly, and that's what the flatties are doing. That's why they call it the black swan.
You're forgetting about Ranty real quick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear what that overmodulated dude just said about Ranty.
You forgot about Ranty though, right? Have you gone? Like, did Ranty go with the black swan? Did Ranty understand the black swan logic?
I don't know.
Or did Ranty just go with the picture? Or did Ranty not go with either? Because Ranty was the picture guy, right? Ranty was the guy that looked at pictures for the flat earthers. He
wrote the book.
He called himself Ranty Flat Earth. Right? That's his tag, right? And he looked at the pictures. Now, I personally am a lot more on the logic side of it. Although we do have pictures and we have took pictures. We all take pictures. We've all got cameras. We take some of the best pictures, actually. So we've got the pictures, but we don't deal with the pictures. I don't like the idea that a logical argument has been turned into a picture. I don't like QE for that fact. And especially don't like the logic behind the argument of the black swan, QE's black swan. Or even what the black swan is. Right?
Good.
Yeah. So, yeah, the black swan. Yeah, there's no need for you to... What are your problems with it? Your problems are all based around the picture, right?
You brought up Ranty's picture.
Well, the picture that Ranty found on Facebook of Kevin Jackson's picture. Yeah.
And people since then have gone out and taken the same picture.
Have they?
That's what I understand.
Okay.
If I'm supposed to prove everything that anyone has ever done, I can't do that. You win.
No, I'm not saying that. So, when you say somebody's taken the same picture as the one that Ranty found on Facebook, what exactly do you mean by that?
I mean, someone has gone down to that... It was a park, right? Somewhere in England?
Yeah. Yeah, Southport.
And they knew how far they were away from that tower, and they knew how far away those mountains were.
Yep.
And those mountains were less than the tower.
What do you mean less than the tower?
I don't have the numbers in...
Yeah, it's a really tricky one, right? Because I think you're going to end up dealing with an argument like you don't think that there is the bottom of the mountains are below Blackpool Tower, do you?
I never really paid much attention to the bottom of the mountains. I was talking about the top of the mountains.
Of the Blackpool Tower argument. Because, I mean, you did say earlier you thought it would be a good example of the curvature, but now, do you know much about the argument that Ranty's presented? Because I don't think Ranty even knows much about the argument he's presented.
It made him believe that the Earth is not flat.
Do you think?
I'd say
Isn't that what I don't know, Ranty.
I'd say if you stare at something for 200 hours, you'd probably go crazy.
Yeah.
I think Fight the Flat Earth makes he has a great picture of looking off a bridge at like 210 meters.
Miles Davis.
And there's...
That's not going to be a good one either. I went over that one with my lad. Yeah, and once you work through it, you'll find out that the water level and the eye line for the things are all parallel, as they call it. It just ends up proving that the water level is horizontal, as is the eye line from the height of the observer to the top of the thing. They're all just perpendicular and parallel. So that's not a good one. Somebody's taught you wrong in that one also. Miles Davis.
See, we could have been talking. Okay, I don't know who Miles Davis is.
He's the guy that took.
That's where Fight got.
Yeah, he's where he got that picture from.
Okay. Just because somebody doesn't want to come on your channel and talk to you.
No, I'm not saying just because they won't. I've already proved that it is parallel, and the reason they won't come and debate is because that's the only conclusion you can come to. This is geometry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all you've got to do is put the pieces together. There you go, I found the perfect maths thing. H equals R brackets 1 minus cos A. Close brackets.
You know how much time we wasted because you guys wouldn't admit you were flat earthers?
We're not
like
flat
30 minutes.
Stop keep saying that. You dude.
Why do you want to? Why is it so important for you to pigeonhole somebody into that?
You're globe deniers.
Yeah, we know it's not a globe. I do personally, anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We go with what we can measure.
Yeah. You can't seriously think that because we say level is horizontal and that we know how barometers work and all of that sort of stuff, that we are flat earthers, can you? I mean, what else have you got?
You'd be hard pressed to find one that knows all that.
I almost understood what he just said.
I said I would bet Buster's guitar it's not a sphere.
I'd have a hard time letting you make that bet, but I'll go with it.
Yeah. You know, we'd be good for it. What about Sly Sparkane? Have you ever heard of him? Is he part of the crew?
Yes.
Right. Have you ever heard of his bending water level test?
No.
Oh, no? Wow. Ask him.
I've heard his name. Okay.
Yeah, he's done a GoFundMe. You know, all of these GoFraud-me's that they're doing. Like, he did a GoFundMe and got quite a lot of stuff and kit to do a test that he hasn't actually done yet. They say, well, he did try. He did try. But, I'm not so sure.
People that are begging...
Please finish your sentence. People that are begging...
Yeah, people are begging money from their followers and not using it for what they're saying. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm. You know Ranty's drone?
I've already said I don't know much about Ranty.
Well, he did a fraud me for a drone that he's never used. $1.5 grand. There's a lot of these people. I mean, he was meant to be doing some sort of an experiment with it, but I don't think that's going to happen now, is it? Because he's do you think they should just let him off? I think if you gave Ranty that money, what would you do? Would you add him to the list?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
I would never give any of these guys my money.
No, but like you know, the people have been given Sean Hufford and Ilya Moon and all of those ones money, and they've been getting done. Like, if you were to have found out that you're obviously those are the what do we call them, debunkers that were giving all of those money, right? I can't see many flat earthers giving Sean Hufford or Ilya Moon or, you know, all of those Red's Rhetoric a load of money. I mean, that would be your side, wouldn't it? That would give them money. But I mean, what do you reckon the flat earth? Obviously, the flat earthers that gave Ranty the money for his drone, and now Ranty's. Would you call him a debunker, or is he still a flirt? Ranty, is he trusted? Is he a trusted debunker now, or is he still a bit of a tinfoil hat globe flirt?
Flip flop.
Yeah. Can you trust him?
I don't know Ranty. I don't follow Ranty.
No. But would you be able to trust somebody like that, like Ranty?
Like I said, like Ranty, I don't know who Ranty is. I don't listen to him.
It was Ranty
I would
Flat
trust
Earth.
Fight the Flat Earth.
He supposedly wrote the Book of Optics for Flat Earthers. Ranty. Self-proclaimed. Nobody's ever seen the book that he's wrote, but he's claimed to have wrote the optics book for Flat Earthers. And now, like I say, he found a picture on Facebook of a place just down the road. He didn't bother going there and taking a picture of it himself. No. He found a picture on Facebook, and like you said, other people have been there and took the picture. Ranty still hasn't been there and took the picture. But now he's on the globe side with his drone. Or maybe he's already sold his drone. Can you trust him? Would you trust him as a glober? Sorry, debunker.
Lost a signal or something. He's lighting up green, but
yeah, fuzz, I think.
Well, it's interesting because he's a big Fight the Flat Earth fan, and we've had this before. Oh.
Yeah, you guys keep talking about.
Somebody else that was a big Fight the Flat Earth fan. No, it was two different guys. They thought it was funny watching him.
Bryce, it was the guy.
Bryce
called.
and Brad, and they supported him monetarily and thought it was funny. And
Yeah, scientifically, he accuses people of child abuse. Scientifically, is what they were saying.
Mm. You're lighting up, Mr. Farkle, but your mic's not coming through. Drop and rejoin.
Hmm?
Well, he's still there in the back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. He just wasn't saying anything.
Oh, it was. Yep.
I had to let the dog in.
I thought you were lighting up trying to talk.
I don't know, Ranty. Please stop talking about Ranty.
Wow, everybody's.
I'm
sure everybody's under an NDA, aren't they, for Ranty?
Who cares?
Wow.
He's a flat earther who now is not a flat earther. So what? He's not interesting to me at all.
But he's proof that he came over with. Because that's supposedly meant to be a new globe proof, right? Picture of Blackpool taken from Southport. Not by Ranty, even though he lives in Blackpool. Just, you know.
Okay. I think it's as much proof of globe as the black swan is of flat earth.
Well, the black swan, we know
at least
that's a really poor picture. Although the water is horizontal, so is that a proof that flat earth, or is that just reality?
It's proof of refraction. No. I heard some idiot the other night say refraction is not real. Shit, I wish I could remember his name.
Have a look. See that picture that I've got in I think that was one of you guys that did that. Can you make any sense out of that?
I can barely see it. What is it supposed to prove?
I don't know. Somebody sent me that. If you look, see the red thing there. That's a dark shark water level arrangement. A red bit, and then the guy, and the light path on a flat Earth, which I haven't got a clue what that's meant to be. Which
I think
is
they
fantastic.
I think they misspelled confusion. They spelled conclusion.
Yeah. Like, I literally don't know what. I mean, that's crazy, right? I didn't make that. That's one of the things that I sort of get off Twitter. And I think there's a lot of really confused people on the debunking side who say a lot of things but don't actually know what the words mean when they say it. They've just heard other people say things and they just parrot the words. Fight the Flat Earth does it a lot. He doesn't actually understand what it is that he's talking about.
Like perspective?
I don't know. Does he have sort of an opinion on perspective? I've never really heard.
Yeah, he has a formula for perspective.
Oh, has he?
And when someone says, yeah, and when someone says the sun sets because of perspective, it's really stupid.
Why? What is perspective?
Why? Perspective means that as something gets away from you, it gets smaller in angular size until it's no longer visible to your eye. Which doesn't happen with a sunset. It disappears bottom up. You ever see a sun setting and when half of it's gone, but you can still see the top half? Where did the bottom half go?
I've also seen sunsets where it just disappears into the.
I've also seen it where it goes upside down, right?
Yeah.
Top half goes away.
Yeah, how many sunsets have you seen?
I used to live in California. I've seen many. And I've never seen the sun just disappear above the horizon.
Have you ever seen a Fata Morgana sunset where it sort of goes down and goes up at the same time?
No.
Have you ever seen like a green flash sunset?
Yeah. I don't think so. I've heard that term before.
It just sort of fades off into the distance and doesn't actually go down. Never actually reaches the horizon.
Horizon.
I've seen that kind of sunset and also that kind of sunrise where it just appears above the horizon. Yeah, man.
I'll find you the sunset. Well, see Rakir's sunset there, that's it. That's a good one.
Show me a sunset with a solar filter.
You show us one of yours.
I don't have anything. I mean, I can look it up on YouTube.
So
Well, we like to do all of our own stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just said that the sunset it disappears without going below the horizon.
I have seen that sunset and also a sunrise of that nature as well.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Have a look at that. See if you
video of
see
it?
whether you think they're the longest sunset ever. There's 3 sunsets there. 2 of them are mushrooms.
I just posted a video for you. I took it.
Well, that's in the one of mine as well, but it's not quite as long. We use that one of Rakir's in order to contrast it against the longest sunsets, the 2 Fata Morgana sunsets. No CGI. Just down the road from where Ranty lives. We got those sunsets from.
I was lucky enough to watch that live. It was pretty cool.
Sun fade out at sunset at ground level. Pretty cool.
Ranty hasn't. Can you imagine that? How pissed off you'd be if you were the guy that lived just down the road and you were the optics guy for an entire group of people and you never managed to catch either one of those Fata Morgana sunsets or take the picture yourself of the thing that you say proves the globe. Could you do that? You know, if you live just a bit down the road and you've got a picture that you're going to be taking to Conspiracy Cats, would you not go and take it yourself? Or would you just rely on other people's pictures?
Again, I don't know who Ranty is. And if I lived near the ocean, like I used to, I'd go take pictures myself.
Yeah.
With a solar filter.
P1000 that you got through a GoFundMe.
I'm just trying to point out right now that if a guy is a lying, dishonest piece of shit when he's a flat earther, how much should you really trust him if he becomes a glober? Does the fact that he's completely ditched the model that he did have, that he had with the optics, and then would you trust him just because he has the same model as you? Or do you trust him even more because he's a dishonest, lying sack of shit?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah. For the
I'm gonna go with B for $1 million.
You see, we didn't trust him when he was a flat earther, because he was a flat earther, right? And everybody knew that Ranty was dodgy. There's something wrong with him.
Okay, you keep talking about Ranty.
Yeah.
I don't know Ranty. I don't listen to Ranty. I don't know if he's a liar or not. I think Dearth is a liar and a scumbag.
Oh, well, I'm going to try and have a word with Dearth. I know Ranty won't come and talk to us, because he never wanted to talk to us when he was a flat earther. We have there's this strange reaction people have when they come and talk to us. For the same reaction you had, that you thought we were a flat earther. Well, the flat earthers don't like us either, because we say it's not flat. I think Ranty didn't like us for that. Maybe it was the level is horizontal thing that he couldn't take. Turned him into a glober. Can't really have been that one picture. I mean, that's a bit much, isn't it? Finding a picture on Facebook. Nearly as bad as Fight the Flat Earth with his pendulums and his perfect maths, bendy straight lines, parallel lines intersecting. Did you know that Fight the Flat Earth has parallel lines intersecting?
No.
Straight lines curving, parallel lines intersecting, triangles with more than 180 degrees. And what was the other one? That might have been it. We called it, we used to call it Fight the Flat Earth geometry at the beginning. But we've since changed it. It's now called imaginometry. But he helped us. He helped us make that. Have you ever invented a geometry to help suit your model?
Nope.
Because you've never really thought about the geometry of your model. I bet.
Thought about it.
Jolly good. It's 2:10. I'm gonna have to go and get some sleep. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go. I'd like to continue and do the chats again. Oh, Hippo's back again. Wow. Big guns.
So let's review. You can't explain the seasons, except saying temperature goes up, temperature goes down. You can't explain two celestial poles.
Wow. That was good.
And you claim that Earth is not flat. It's not a globe. Got it.
Sweet. That's a nice review.
And
what would you review for your side then? Like, well, go on. But if that's the what you got from us, what do you say that you gave us?
I asked you for the seasons, and you can't explain them.
What did you give us?
Yeah, the world is tilted. And as it orbits the sun, more direct sunlight on the side that is facing the sun makes it hotter.
Don't forget about the wobble.
And it does wobble. Yep.
And spins around.
Yep. And Bob Nodell proved that with his gyroscope. How hilarious was that dumbass who lied about being a commercial airline pilot? It's funny how you guys don't like liars. This motherfucker lied about...
Like, you've just grouped us all, and what is it you're telling us we don't like? Again.
Bob Nodell lied about being...
I don't know Bob Nodell.
You didn't see the Netflix?
None of us support that. None of us.
You didn't see the Netflix doc?
No.
Where he got his hands on a $20,000 ring laser gyroscope? You didn't see that?
He didn't get his hands on a ring laser.
Okay,
gyroscope.
somebody did.
Yeah.
He's the spokesperson.
Yeah, somebody got their hands on a ring laser gyroscope, right?
Yep.
And what does the ring gyroscope do?
When it moves, it detects a shift.
In what?
And if it is sitting on like a desk, or the roof of your house, or the wing of a plane, it detects a shift.
In what?
Because it's fixed on a point in space.
It's like on a desk.
So if it doesn't move,
yeah. And
he said, you know what I'm talking about, man.
No, I don't. If it doesn't move, I'm just trying to
You're
work
playing
the logic
stupid again.
of it. No, I'm trying to get the logic of exactly what it does. So you've got a ring laser gyroscope, and you put it on a desk, and you plug it in, do you? Or do you
and the
spin
desk
it
isn't
up?
moving.
Is it like a spinning
We're not talking
thing?
about. There's no ring laser gyroscope. There's no moving parts.
Okay, right. So you just plug it in then. And how do you get the how does it tell you what it's doing? Like, is there a dial on it, or
it detects movement?
How? There's no moving parts.
It detects. I've told you, there's a fixed point in space. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I
This is the
don't.
biggest
I'm
joke.
asking you. You said there's no moving parts. So, what does it do? And how does it tell you something's moving? Like what? Tell me the procedure.
Because it sends out light and it gets split in half. Right? And if it moves, then that light that goes over both sides will be interfered with.
An interferometer.
And one... Right.
But an interferometer does have movement. Or are you talking like a LIGO type interferometer?
I'm talking about it wasn't a ring laser gyroscope. It was a fuck.
It's like Michelson-Morley interferometer type thing, but that's not a ring laser, is it?
No, Michelson-Morley. Please, yeah, they proved that the luminiferous ether was bullshit.
No, that was just the interferometer, the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conclusions
So Bob
that they
said,
came to, I don't know.
Okay, so Bob said if we could ever get our hands on one of these things, we could prove once and for all
Bob
the Earth
said,
is not spinning. Oops.
So you trust
That's
Bob?
what he said.
You trust Bob?
No, I don't trust him. He's an idiot.
Okay, so you're taking the word of an idiot as one of your proofs that...
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And...
Yes, because I can't afford a $20,000 gyroscope to make an ass out of myself in a Netflix documentary.
You know what you could afford is about a $20 piece of clear tube to prove a straight line.
Okay.
You know, like we said earlier, a plumb bob establishes a vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if there's any sort of movement? Would you say that a plumb bob would establish a vertical?
Yes.
Well, if you were moving, the plumb bob would still establish a vertical, would it?
Yes. Yeah, moving at twice as slow as the hour hand on your clock. Yep.
The hour hand on the clock.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Is that moving? Is that moving?
It is moving, yeah.
Really? Can you see it? Can you see it move?
Yeah, every hour, like it moves, doesn't it? But what's the analogy for the hour hand of the clock?
The Earth is moving twice as slow as the hour hand on your clock.
You sure? What sort of speed is that moving, the hour hand on your clock?
The hour hand on your clock moves 1 revolution per 12 hours. The globe is moving 1 revolution per 24 hours. Twice as slow.
Right. Okay, so you're allowing for movement on a plumb bob to establish still a vertical.
Are we still talking about plumb bobs?
Well, I just did then, yeah.
No, sorry.
What about the surface of liquid water, right? Any movement, would that create a difference in pressure? Say
that again?
Water. The the surface of liquid water establishes an even altitude, right? What if there were any movement? Do you think it would still be an equilibrium of even pressure? Even altitude?
Have you ever seen a wave?
Yeah. So you're saying movement within a static body of water would cause it to not be level on the water, but not the plumb bob. Plumb bob still remains vertical.
I'm saying, okay, again with the plumb bob, I don't know surveying. I've said that. But surveyors have measured that the plumb bob, the angle to the center of the Earth, is more than 90 degrees.
More than?
Yes.
The angle of a plumb bob is more than 90 degrees.
Compared to another plumb bob. A mile or 2 or 3 or 10 miles away.
Right. You don't know much about this, do you?
I told you I don't know much about surveyors.
Or 90 degrees.
When you guys were lying about being flat earthers, I was like, I don't know much about surveying. That was honest. You guys were lying.
For saying what?
When you guys were lying about being flat earthers, I was being honest and saying, I don't know much about surveyors.
We're not flat earthers.
Of course.
Yeah, can you not remember when we agreed earlier on that flat is 2D?
I do remember.
Well,
the semantics.
2D, the difference between 2D and 3D is semantics to you now.
Mm-hmm. To you, it is.
It's not to me. I know the difference between 2D and 3D. Absolutely. We live in 3D.
And you knew what I meant, and you still said, no, I'm not a flat earther.
I'm not a flat earther. I'm telling you. Flat is 2D.
What is the shape of the Earth, then?
It's all lumpy and bumpy, isn't it? Like, which particular bit are
Bumpy.
you talking about?
Uh-huh. It's bumpy. Have you ever heard that idiot Bumpy Earth?
No.
Yeah. He calls himself, he used to be hip-hop hippie or something like that. He's the dumbest motherfucker you ever heard. He goes, whoa, there's a mountain, and that means Earth isn't flat, so,
He's right.
look him up.
If there's a mountain there, it can't be flat. Elevation changes negate
Semantics.
flatness.
You're right.
Yeah. And level being horizontal negates globularity.
Yeah.
I just made that up as well. Did you notice? Or did you think that was a proper word? It might be a proper word that I just made up as well. You never know.
Okay, so I'll try to contact Craig, Fight the Flat Earth. We'll set up a debate. I'm sure he'll be, I don't know Craig, but it's just like Dearth and some other idiots that he'll take on all comers on a neutral channel. So, right?
Yeah. Tell him I've got proofs of all sorts. And a test coming
Sure.
up. Yeah.
He's always looking for you guys. Most of them,
He's not looking
they
for
show
us.
up and they rate. No, he is.
No, he's not. But
Okay, well, we'll find out.
yeah. Okay. Good luck. And yeah, I hope come back, and I'll because I've got that water level test to explain to you, right? The straight line test.
Sure.
You see whether you can
Sounds
deny
good.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Well, 20 half past. I'm gonna have to get going, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, thanks for having me,
get
guys.
some sleep. Be sure to come back and let us know what Mr. FTFE has to say.
Fight the flat Earth.
Yeah. All right.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.